want some sauce?
Scene 1, Apple, take 1.
What's up everybody, how's it going out there? So in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to solve a Rubik's Cube. You know, back in the 80s when this first came out, I remember it was just, at first nobody cared about it. It was a lot like Pac-Man, because when Pac-Man first came out, nobody really cared about it. And then it just seemed within a month or two, everybody was talking about Pac-Man. Same thing happened with the Rubik's Cube. It came out, nobody was really talking about it. The next thing you know, it was a sensation and everybody was talking about Rubik's Cube. It almost became a thing that if you could solve it, you were considered some type of, you know, honorary Mensa member, like you were a genius or something. And in many movies, they even showed that, or in TV shows. The people that figured out the algorithm to it, the patterns, those people are pretty smart. But everybody that learned the patterns, they're frauds, right? So I was one that ended up learning the patterns. My brother learned it before me. My brother was very good with the Rubik's Cube. You know, back in the day, somebody could, if you could solve a Rubik's Cube in less than a minute, you were considered pretty much a badass. There's people now that can solve it in less than 5 seconds. And you might not believe me, check it out, because it's on YouTube, the world record, 5 seconds. But I'm going to show you a tried and true method. If you write down everything that I'm telling you, the patterns, you'll be able to use those as a reference instead of watching the video again. And also, probably within just about a day, day and a half, you should be able to solve it without the reference material. So the very first thing I need to do is I need to tell you, while looking at this, what parts of the cube they are. So later on when I'm saying this is the part that you need to move, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so this would be considered the top. This is the top of the cube. This would be the bottom of the cube, right? The common sense. This would be the right side. This would be the left side, okay? And that's pretty much it, except for the face, right? We have the face here, and we have the rear back here. The good news is I'm not going to be using a couple of those because there's no reason for them, okay? We have the turning to the right or turning to the left, okay? So if I say turn to the right, you turn toward the right. If I say turn to the left, you turn to the left. You can turn up, okay, this is turning up, this is turning down. So if I say right up, this is right up. If I say left down, that's left down. Top left, that's top left. Face to the right, face to the left, okay? And that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. The very first thing we're going to be doing this in layers. And the very first thing that we're going to be doing is up here. I'll start with white. You can start with any color you want, but what we want to do is make an X, okay? We want to make that plus, and we need to find these guys. Now, you'll notice that there'll be one that's white, and then there'll be a color on the side. That color on the side is always going to be in relation to one of the centers here, okay? So in this particular case, we see that we have white and red, okay? So this needs to be up here. Now, if I just turn it like that, well, that's not quite right, is it? Okay? But if it's in this position, and I go like this, and then I turn it like that, okay? Bring this back up. Now it is in that position where it can be put in the correct one. Okay, so I'll turn this to the side so it doesn't get in my way. I'll bring this down in the middle by bringing the left up and the right up and the middle down. And by turning this again and now lifting these up, we have one that matches that. And the top one is really the one that you're going to have to spend the most time with, because you kind of have to search for all the blocks and, you know, and whatnot. But we'll go ahead and continue. We have a green and a white right here. Where would that be? It's over on this side, right? So the first thing I do is I put it down here on the bottom. I bring it over just like we did before. So all we have to do is move this over, bring that down, and there we go. So we have the red and we have the green, okay? And now what we have to do is we look around until we see the other ones. Right here we have the blue. We're lucky, all we have to do with the blue is just move that up. And once again, all we have to do with this one, because it's already in position, is bring the center down and bring this up. Okay, so now we have all of these lined up with the correct sides. All right, And the top is probably really going to be the hardest part for you when you first start. If you're new to this, it's probably going to be the hardest part, but then you'll get used to it. Right here we have a red and a blue and a white. It's in the correct location, but it's not in the correct alignment. So what we do is we bring that down, turn that to get it out of the way, bring this up. Okay? Now what I do is I bring it over, and you'll see that the blue is here and the red is here where it's supposed to be. So if I take this and I turn it this direction, if I bring this down and I bring this over and then back up, it's now in the proper location. Right here we see one, it's orange and green and white, which would be here. The orange is on the orange, the green is on the green. Same thing, if I take this and granite, turn it, boom, okay, it's in the right spot. Orange and blue, we bring it over here. So now this would be in the right spot, this would be in the right spot, that would be in the right spot. So if I move it out of the way, bring this down, bring this over and up, we've got that. And now we only have one left, which is right down here. And what I'm doing is I'm bringing this basically right under where I want it, okay? And then from here, I bring that over and I move it twice. So now it's here. I bring this back up. I bring this twice over to the bottom. I bring this down, back over and up. So now we have our T's, okay? So all of these are T's now, okay? And like I was saying, at first you're probably going to have problems with this if you've never done it before. Just practice doing the tops a little bit, and you see that it's going to be one of those things that you're going to pick up real fast, okay? That's probably going to be the most frustrating part at first, is just trying to get the top done, okay? I do it second nature. I don't think about it. I just do it. And I don't ever remember learning patterns for it. It's just after a while you get where you can do it. So now what we want to do is we want to put in these corners, okay? And we're solving it from the top down. So we have a green and a red. So what color is here, I want to bring it over to that color. So here is the green, and we have red. Red is on this side. It's not on that side, it's on this side, okay? And it's important because this pattern changes depending if you're going to be putting it here or if you're going to be putting it here, okay? So what we've got is this. We want to turn this away from the side that we want to put it in, okay? So I want this here, so I'm going to turn it away. And now the side that I want it in, I'm going to bring this down, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this back to where it was originally. Now I'm going to lift this back up again. And it looks like we have something out of place, which we do. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this, turn it, bring it down, bring it over, and back up again, and we have placed it inside there, okay? So let's look for another one here. We have an orange and a blue. This is good because the blue is on this side before we did here, okay? So once again, we want to move away from the side that we want it to be in. We move that side down that we want it to be in, okay? We end up bringing this over towards the side that we had just brought down. We're going to lift it back up. We're here. You can see that we have that in the spot. Move it down, over, up. And now we have the blue in that location. We have a red and a blue, so that is on the right side. So I'm going to move away from that. I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to bring to the right. I'm going to go back up. I'm going to move this that direction, which is to the right. This goes down and up, okay? So this is what we've got so far. And we have one more around here somewhere. Oh, here it is, right in front of me. We have green and orange. We have to put it on this side, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to turn away, we're going to turn down, back again to where we originally were, up, move that over, move this down, and there you go, okay? So now we have the top two layers solved. Now what we have to do is we have to end up creating a X down here, the plus down here of yellow, okay? And I see that I've got what looks like a little L, so I'm going to end up having that face me, okay? So it always goes straight and to the right, straight and to the right. And you want to try to at least line one of them up if possible, okay? And from here, what we want to do is this pattern, okay? And sometimes you have to do it more than once in order to get this cross there. It doesn't matter that these are aligned to the right color, just as long as we have the plus. That's the only thing we care about, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold it like this, and we're gonna turn the face to the right. Then we're gonna turn the right up, and then we are going to turn it to the left, the top to the left. We are going to bring the right down. We are going to bring the top back over to the right, and then we are going to turn the face one more time, this time to the left. And now we see that we have a line here. And now that I have this line here, I'm not going to do it from this side, I'm going to do it from this side, okay? And then by the time I'm done with this, and I'm going to do the same pattern, we should have an X, we should have the plus. So it's to the right, up, down, back, over, okay? So we have definitely that plus, but we also end up having these, but they're in the wrong spot, okay? You're going to see that this is in the right spot, that's in the wrong spot, this is in the right spot, okay? And now what we have to do is we have to get these guys that are not in the right spot aligned. And this is the pattern that we're going to be doing. Right up to the left twice on the top. We're going to bring that down the right. We're going to top to the left, okay? From here, we're going to end up bringing that up, back over to the right, and we're going to bring that down. And we're going to spin this, and we've got this one aligned and this aligned. These two are not aligned. The ones that are not aligned, I want to have facing me and to the right. And I'm going to do the exact same pattern again. Okay, bring it over. And now we have all of these aligned. All right. So now what we have to do is we have to get these corners in the right spot. This one is correct. This one is not. This one is not. And this one is not. Okay. The one that is correct, which is here, we want to keep that close to us on the top. So the bottom right, we're going to keep that close to us. And what we want to do is this pattern. Left up, top to the left, right up, top to the right. Right down, top to the left. I'm sorry, that was left down. That's right down, okay? And now we have this one is correct, this is correct, and this is correct. Okay, and sometimes when I'm doing this, guys, when I say left down and it's actually the right, just you have to kind of watch what I'm doing and ignore what I'm saying. I'll post the actual directions, you know, on the screen, so you can just say right, down, left, whatever. Okay, but we've got one here and one here, so it doesn't really make a difference what side that we do the rest of this to solve it. Okay. This is in the right spot, but it's obviously not aligned, and the same with this. And we're probably going to have to do this pattern at least 3 times, more than likely, okay? And this is the same thing that we had done earlier. It's the same pattern. So it's up, twice, down, back, up. And you might recognize that pattern from when we were doing the alignment, not the alignment, but the trying to make the cross. But now we're going to do almost identical, except we're going to be doing it on the left, okay? All right, so now we have this part solved, and now we've got to do this, okay? And we're going to do the exact same pattern again, except we're going to be doing it facing where everything that is wrong is on the right side. Okay, so we have that twice, down, over, up, bang, down. Sometimes I forget. And there you go. There you go. Now it's solved. Okay, and it's one of those things that when I'm doing it, it's muscle memory. So I'm not thinking top, right, left, down. I'm not thinking like that anymore. I was like that probably the first few days that I was doing it. But nowadays it's just muscle memory. And sometimes I have to stop and try to reverse what I had done and then just allow the muscle memory once again to do it. Because sometimes if I'm actually thinking, you know, top right, bottom left, all this other type of stuff, sometimes I'll end up messing up and I get lost, okay? And that's normal. For the first few times that you end up doing this, it's going to end up being very, very normal for you to mess up like that. But all of the directions that I have put on the screen, as far as, you know, top left, you know, right down and all this other stuff, just write those down. And also write down why you're doing those in that particular order. And you're going to see that at first, just work on the top. You know, you're like, okay, I got the top, cool, I got that down, you know. And then only focus on trying to get these corners in, okay? Even after you get the corners in, just go ahead and just say, even though this one doesn't go there, I'm going to get that one there right now, okay? And just keep practicing the pattern over and over and over until it's like second nature. As soon as that's done, flip it over, and you just keep practicing the pattern until you can get that X, you know, until you get that cross. After you get that in its second nature, that's when you end up going into the next. And if you do it in that way, within just a couple of days, no problem. You'll be able to do this without having any written paperwork in front of you or whatever and whatnot, okay? And you can impress your friends. But yeah, Rubik's Cube, man, this is one of those things. I just remember when it came out, everybody was talking about it, and it was almost like an IQ test there for a while if you could solve it. But there's people, like I said, nowadays that they're just like, and they can solve it in seconds. You know, you know, when I'm not thinking, I can, and I'm just fooling around with it, I can probably solve it in a minute, you know, maybe, or something like that. 4 or 5 seconds is insane to me. But this is fun, and it's a cool thing to learn how to do. So anyway, guys, that is that. And I guess until next time, I'll talk to you later.